Today I'll be reviewing the book Veronika Decides to Die by Paulo Coelho. This book was written in 1998, and it's by the same author who wrote the famous book The Alchemist. This book is about a young woman named Veronika. She has a pretty regular life. She has a job, a boyfriend. Nothing really is going too wrong, but she does suffer from depression. She's not really sure exactly why she has been feeling depressed, but she decides to attempt. She wakes up in a hospital, and the doctors have some bad news for her. Basically, she's damaged her body beyond repair. She only has a few days to live because of the harm that she's done. And so she decides to kind of give up her quest to try to end her life, because she's like, what's the point? I just have a few days anyways, I'm just going to live them out. So she lives out the next couple of days. She meets some people at the hospital who are kind of labeled as crazy by society. The book is kind of set in the past as well, so in those days it took a lot less to be classified as someone with mental health issues. So sometimes people who are just a little different, a little weird, would end up there. She does make friends with a young man with schizophrenia, and he is a lot more free than her, so he kind of teaches her how to be herself. And over the next couple of days, she's kind of rediscovering satisfaction in her life. And that's the point that I really wanted to focus on with this book, is that this story shows how a perspective change is really important in reestablishing what a person identifies as a satisfying life. Veronika had everything that should make life satisfying before, but somehow she was still not feeling satisfied or happy. So as a therapist, these are some of the most common reasons that I find that someone wants to end their life, and it's usually dependent on not seeing a tolerable future ahead. Some of those include being in financial trouble, having chronic pain that you feel may never end, feeling like you've let down your family or yourself in a major way that you can't come back from, wondering if you're always going to be alone, grief, loss, things like that, things that you feel that are permanent, that will never go away. So in Veronika's situation, she has the luxury of feeling that her problems are temporary because her doctor has told her she's only going to be around for a couple of days. So any problems that she had before her accident, she feels that they don't apply anymore. So she starts living her life each day very intentionally, and every day starts to feel like she's chosen it. Everything that she does has a lot of weight and meaning. Everything that she does for enjoyment, she does for herself. Basically, she's living authentically at this point. So while some things might not be permanent, or while some things might be permanent, like chronic pain, losing a loved one, things like that, I feel that it's still important in situations we can't control to find things that could help us shift our perspective, as what happened in this book. And I won't give away the ending, but there is a twist that makes the theme even more poignant. But it's important to find the things that make life tolerable and worth living in these situations. So one example that I use for grief a lot, since that's one of those situations that are permanent, is, I tell people when my mother passed away, I had a trip to Europe that I had told her about a lot, and we were both excited for, but she didn't make it to be able to interact with me while I was there. So I took one of her jackets with me there, and I wore it the whole time, and I would do things kind of in honor of her. Like when I had tea in England, I did a little toast to her. I thought about her. When I went certain places I thought she'd like, I'd kind of imagine her with me. That's more of a spiritual thing. I know not everyone is into that. And so I also have another example that's soothing and makes loss tolerable for me personally. And that is that when someone passes away that's close to you, I feel that they leave a little part of themselves with you. The part that my mom left with me is kindness to children and animals. And I feel that every time that I embody that quality, that's from her. And so that personally helps me as well. Another thing is maybe you could engage in things like charities or activities that the person enjoyed when they were alive, to honor them and maybe bring them with you if you have that spiritual belief that people could be with you spiritually. So to say that all people with ideation just need a perspective change would be an oversimplification, or that they'd be inspired by this particular book. But I do think that it would be inspiring to a lot of people, especially if the situations that they're in are a little bit more temporary in nature, and they feel that maybe a perspective change would help. For example, a lot of people feel trapped by their family's expectations or what their family is or is not doing for them, to them. And boundaries, time, things like that could help as well. Again, these are not very in depth, because obviously a session would be needed to work through someone's particular issues. Some people need medication. But if you choose to read this book, just let me know what you think about it, and if you enjoyed Veronika Decides to Die. Thank you.